What's up, guys? This is the Weiss Schwarz Pauper here, and today I'm going to bring you my updated Nisemonogatari deck profile. The last time I brought you guys a deck from Monogatari, there was just set 1 Bakemonogatari, but this obviously has the set 2 upgrades in it. So we'll see how that has adapted and how I've sort of made my personal changes to the deck and the way it's traditionally played to fit our meta a bit better than the way it was played in Japan. So without further ado, here it is. We're gonna start with the core of the deck. 2 of these changes, it's pretty basic change. Pay 2, send it away during the encore step, and then it brings out one of these. Now, I have 4 copies of it. It is a 3/2 10k on-play heal with experience 6, gains a K, so it's an 11k heal. Cool. And also, it has hexproof. It can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So that's pretty sweet. It's a very solid card. I like it. And to finish off the core, it kind of has 2 halves. The first half is obviously the change into the healer with hexproof. The second half is giving it the power. So you start off with 3 copies of these. For those of you who don't know, this card is a global 500 assist on your turn and gives a global level, but only on your turn. And with experience, I believe it's 5. Yeah, with experience 5 or higher, this card gives a 1k assist in front to all characters with the experience ability. Obviously, this has experience, so this can potentially be a 12k or even a 13k under this card, and high level, because its effect technically doesn't target. So that's pretty sweet. And then the last part of this core is 3 copies of the 3/2 Tsubasa assist. It's 2k assist on play, draw 2, ditch 1, and it gives in front the ability on reverse pay of a level 2 or higher. Sorry, I'm mixing up another effect. On reverse of an opponent's creature. Sorry. On reverse of an opponent's creature, pay 1, and then put that creature on the bottom of your opponent's deck instead of sending it to the waiting room. So that's pretty cool. It allows you to stack some damage if you're in a position to do that, and that's nice. But it's mainly run for the draw and for the power. Now, the reason why I consider this the core is because the whole goal behind the game, goal 1, is to get this set up. 2 of these guys in the back, 1 of these guys in the front, change, get out that. Then, for the rest of level 2 and level 3, you want to set this up. It's all about getting that board. You want to build a wall of big hexproof creatures. And the deck core has a very change-focused core. Even though it's not a super big core, it's still important, because the level 0 assist changes and becomes the level 3 assist. Not literally, but you're replacing it with a better card. Same thing with, obviously, the actual physical change. It's all about evolution as you get further through the game, and so that's essentially what the core is about, and that's the core. Next up, we have the engine, or consistency, however you want to put it. It's the stuff that gives you what you need when you need it. So first up, 2 copies of this 3/2 red Hitagi. It's the only level 3 red Hitagi in the deck. I love the healer Hitagi. It's a from first set. It's a fantastic card. It's very strong, but it's a bit slow. Its change is very costly, and its effect almost doesn't apply in our meta anymore because high-level cards aren't run nearly to the extent they were. Level 2 is almost non-existent in this meta except for in very specific builds of specific decks. Not that it's completely not run. In a lot of my decks, I run a high level 2, but that's just because of the way I like to play the game. As a whole in the meta, level 2 is kind of a non-starter, and level 3 is very difficult to make that card's effect useful given the power range. So this card, what's nice about it is it's an on-play salvage, so essentially just on-play, get whatever you need. It's great, it's a solid 3/2, plus it gets pretty big, especially in the center, when you've got assists behind it. It's got a tap 2, give it 2,500 to the end of the turn. Pretty solid card. I like it as a 2. It just helps you with that consistency that the deck so sorely needs. Next up, we don't have an on-play search. The only somewhat equivalent, well, there's 2 cards, but the other one, the cost is on-play pay 2 stock, and in a deck of this nature where you're running so many level 3s and the game is so dependent on that part, paying 2 stock that early in the game, which already in any deck is kind of bad, is just not worth it no matter what the effect. So what I do instead is I run this card, which uses no stock. It's just on play, salvage 1, ditch 1. Awesome. But it needs experience 4 to get that effect. Otherwise, it's just a 2k beater until basically level 2 when you set up that experience. But it's a solid card, especially when you hit level 2. I'll play multiple games where I'm just playing a card, ditch, play a card, ditch, play a card, ditch. It's hand fix at its finest. It's a fantastic card. It's great at what it does. And it's the best card that we have for that purpose. Next up, the tap 2 pay 1 Brainstorm. This card is fantastic and kind of infamous. It is the 3k beater Brainstorm. If you have a blood character on the board, which your level 0 Shinobu Assist is a blood character, this card becomes a 3k beater. Awesome. It also has pay 1, tap 2 for each climax, search Brainstorm. Pretty sweet. A lot of people would consider this a compression card. I don't look at it that way because if you're in a bad situation, this card is not going to save you in any way. But if you're in a good situation, this card is just going to make your situation better. And that's why I consider this card a consistency card. It's just good at getting you things that you want in hand, especially when you're ahead. And also, in very rare cases, it can save you. So, there's that. The next card I run for consistency, one copy of Meimei Oshino. This isn't so much of a getting the cards you want in the hand thing as much as it's gonna save my ass thing in a consistency way. This kind of fits into the next category as well, but the purpose of this card is if you don't get the level 3s that you need into your waiting room for the experience, you're going to have a tough game. This card allows you to swap out those cards in your experience for other cards in your waiting room. So it allows you to set up the cards if they didn't get set up earlier in the game. So that's always good. If you need it, you'll get it. If you don't need it, whatever. I mean, clock fodder. It's a solid one of. Very, very few times in my course of playing this game have I not run Meimei in Monogatari, because I just think it is that good of a card within the set. Sorry. getting a drink. Alright. And then the last two cards for this category of consistency and engine would be the Lover's Climax combo. This infamous and badass combo. This combo is the heart and soul of any good Monogatari deck, in my opinion at least. The other search combo, there's nothing wrong with it. I personally don't think it brings enough to the table. The thing that this combo does is it eats through your deck like nobody's business. On declaration, if the climax is on board, pay 1, look at up to 5, and then add 1 strange character to your hand from those 5, ditch the rest. If you have 30 cards in deck, 1 climax, this card gets you to the end of your deck. It is a phenomenal card in that regard. Plus, it helps you with the hand size, helps you with the consistency, and bonus, combos with a 2-soul. I love 2-souls in this game. They are devastating if you know how to use them, and that is what makes this card so good, on top of its already just fantastic mill effect, which is 1 more than most other mill effects. So it's an overall fantastic card. Very few times in this game have I ever suggested to someone not to run this combo, if they're playing Monogatari, obviously. So there's that. And that is the consistency part of the deck, the engine. So now I'm going to bring up a couple of cards that I run for the purpose of safety, keeping you alive or keeping your creatures alive. So the first card is the Pay 1 Brainstorm. This is one of those cards that also could fall into the consistency category. My only thing is it doesn't get you any sort of hand size or anything like that, and the main reason I run it is if I can't get Lovers off, but I have stock and I need to eat through my deck, it's a Pay 1 Brainstorm. It's what it's there for. It eats through your deck very easily. So this is a save my ass card. And then 3 copies of this backup. It's a 1/0/1500 woo. Experience 5. You have the option of then also paying 2 when you back up with it and subtracting 1 soul from the attack. This effect has saved my ass and won me the game so many times I can't even remember how many. It's a great card. It's good at saving you. And backups in general are just good at saving your creatures, obviously. It's what they're there for. And then, last but not least, for the safety category, I run Monogatari's only free fresh between the 2 sets in America and the 3rd set, which is in Japan. Awakening Ritual. In my opinion, if you have options for effects as good as free fresh, you should run them if you have the room, depending on the card. So this card is one of those things, I had the room, and it's just a phenomenal effect. Plus, I can use it offensively to screw with my opponent's deck. On activation, both players shuffle their waiting rooms into their deck. So that's pretty sweet. And that is the safety category. And the last part is the beaters. These are just all the strength cards that I run for both color and for power. So 4 copies of the standalone 4K. I opted for this one instead of the yellow 4K Stand With a Buddy because I needed red for the color, mainly, and they're both really solid, so I opted for this one instead. At level run, I run 4 copies of this Moon card. Under that assist, this card is enormous. It's a tough card to kill. So it's a great 4-of in this deck. And then the last card I run for power is 4 copies of this 2/1. You don't have anti-change in this deck, so this is the next best thing. Gets huge, your opponent can't back up. Combos with a 2K1. I like 2K1s, especially when you have standalone creatures. They help a lot in that regard, plus they're climaxes that keep hand size. So that's the beater section. And that is also the entire deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys can think critically about some of the decisions I've made for my own local and for the general meta as a whole, and take them into consideration. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Any tips that you might have, of course, post them, because I'm also learning as well. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.